All right, today we're diving deep into the story of one of the most complicated and honestly one of the most tragic figures in all of mythology, Karna from the Mahabharata. His story is all about raw talent, crushing prejudice, and a loyalty so intense it ultimately led him to ruin. Let's get into it.
Wow, that just hits you, right? It gets right to the heart of his story. Karna is the ultimate what could have been. I mean, he had the power, he had the skill, he even had divine blood, but fate and his own choices had a completely different plan in store for him.
I think we all have at some point, right? And that feeling, that's the key to understanding Karna. His entire life was one long fight against a label that he just could not shake, a constant struggle to prove he was more than what the world said he was. Let's see how it all started.
So, Karna's origin story is, well, it's wild. It's a total paradox right from his very first breath. You've got gods and royalty on one side and fear and abandonment on the other. It basically set him on this contradictory path from day one.
Okay, so get this. He is literally born a demigod. He comes into the world with divine armor fused to his skin, making him pretty much invincible. But, and this is a huge but, his mother, Princess Kunti, was young and unmarried. To avoid a massive scandal, she placed him in a basket and sent him down a river. Just like that, the son of a god goes from royalty to being found and raised by a simple charioteer.
And this one word, Sutaputra, became the shadow that followed him his entire life. It wasn't just a description, you know? It was a social weapon. Every single time he tried to step up and show his incredible skill, someone would throw this label in his face to put him back in his place.
So as you can imagine, constantly fighting this kind of prejudice, it forces him to make some pretty desperate choices. And those choices, well, they lead to curses. Curses that would literally come back to seal his fate. This is where his story takes an even darker turn.
And here's what's so brutal about these curses. They both come from his struggle against the system. He wanted to learn from the best teacher, Parshurama, but he had to lie about his caste to do it. When the truth came out, bam, a devastating curse. Then, a completely tragic accident leads to another one. It's almost like the universe itself was stacking the deck against him.
But then, just when everything seems stacked against him, he gets a break, a single moment of recognition from the most unlikely person. And this one act of kindness would forge a bond of loyalty so strong it would define the rest of his life, for better and ultimately for much, much worse.
So picture this. There's a massive royal tournament. Karna, brimming with talent and confidence, steps into the arena. He challenges the celebrated hero, Prince Arjuna. This is supposed to be his big moment to prove everyone wrong. But before he can even make a move, he's shut down, publicly shamed, not for a lack of skill, but for that label again. And right there, at its absolute lowest, in front of everyone, one person steps forward, Prince Duryodhana. He doesn't see a charioteer's son, he sees a champion. And he doesn't just defend him, he makes Karna a king, right there on the spot. For the first time in his life, Karna has respect, a title, and a friend.
And this one moment creates the central conflict of Karna's entire life. His loyalty to Duryodhana, the guy who gave him everything, is now absolute. The problem? Duryodhana isn't exactly a good guy. He often chooses the path of injustice or adharma. So Karna is forever stuck, torn between his deep debt to his friend and doing what he knows is right.
Now this inner battle, his secret birth, those terrible curses, all of it comes to a head in the epic war of Kurukshetra. This is the moment where every thread of his life collides in one final heartbreaking showdown.
And as if things weren't complicated enough, right before the war starts, a massive bombshell drops. His mother, Kunti, finally shows up and reveals the truth. The enemies he's about to fight, the Pandavas, are actually his younger brothers. She begs him to switch sides, but he refuses. His loyalty to Duryodhana is unshakable. He chooses friendship over family, and in doing so, he seals his fate.
And so we come to it, the final battle. It's Karna versus his own brother, Arjuna, the very man he's been compared to his entire life. This is the moment those two curses have been waiting for. First, the Brahmin's curse hits, right at the height of battle. His chariot wheel sinks deep into the mud. He's trapped, a sitting duck. The nearly invincible warrior is suddenly completely vulnerable. So he jumps down,
desperately trying to free his chariot, and that's when the second curse, the one from his teacher, kicks in. All the sacred knowledge of his most powerful weapons, poof, it vanishes from his mind. At the one moment he needs it most, his greatest strength is gone.
So there he is, trapped, disarmed, his memory wiped clean. The great Karna is utterly helpless. And in that moment, fate, curses, and his choices all collide as his own brother, Arjuna, fires the final arrow. The life of the unsung hero is over.
So why, after thousands of years, do we still tell this story? Why does it still resonate so deeply with us? Well, it's because Karna is so much more than just a character in an epic. He's become a powerful symbol.
He represents that struggle of having incredible talent but being held back by where you come from. He's that tragic hero whose greatest virtue, his loyalty, is also his fatal flaw. He was also famously generous. I mean, he gave away his divine armor when someone asked for it, knowing it would probably kill him. More than anything, he just feels so incredibly human, flawed, noble, and caught in a web he just couldn't escape.
And maybe that's the ultimate lesson here. Karna had all the skill in the world, enough to be the greatest warrior of his age, but his story is a powerful reminder that talent isn't everything. In the end, it's our choices, our loyalties, and our character that truly define us. So I'll leave you with this to think about. Was Karna a villain for siding with injustice? Was he a hero for his unbreakable loyalty? Or was he something much more complicated? Just a man, trapped between destiny and his own heart. Let us know what you think. Thanks for joining us for this explainer, and be sure to stick around for more deep dives like this one.